So I was really
Part
interested
two.
in learning about the whole Murder Inc. time of your life. I didn't know, when Murder Inc. was going through their legal bouts, that you actually tried to sign with another a production company, and that Irv kind of was like, "No, you're still signed to me." Can you talk about that whole process?
Yeah, well, my album Street Love, I believe, was released in 2007-ish. And shortly before that time, my label was going through a federal trial. They were being accused of money laundering, amongst other things. My label head, Irv Gotti, as I know, they may not, he grew up from the Queens part of town in New York, and he was really good friends with some original gangsters from that neighborhood for many years. And due to association, they were trying to kind of tie him into a larger picture, saying that he was laundering street money into the music business.
So it was a RICO charge?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And during that time, there was like a black cloud that would follow us around. No one really wanted to touch us. No one wanted to invest in the company. No one could release music because all the money was kind of tied up in illegal. Plus, a lot of the assets was frozen,
right,
as happens in trials for all you criminals out there. And so I was just kind of being patient. I had recorded some music in my spare time, but I was just kind of waiting it out. I was attending the trial with everyone, supporting. And then Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans and pretty much relocated my entire family. And it was like this really hard time for me personally, because I wanted to support them and help them out. But the only way I knew to do that was to release more music. And I actually had a clause in my contract that stated I was required to make a new album 1 year after the making of my first album to the date. That time had passed, and I was having conversations about what to do. And so what happened was I recorded some music, and I decided that I'm going to spend my own money. I'm going to spend the money I got on the music for the first time, and I'm going to, pay for, promotion and marketing on my own. I'm going to reach out to my friend Lil Wayne.
Right.
And I'm going to get him to do a feature and see what happens. I mean, that was really the only option I had. And what ended up happening was the song charted just from the Southeast. And then it ended up peaking at #1. Many, months later, it actually broke a Billboard record for the longest charted song before peaking. And that's because I had to promote it independently, in a sense. And
right.
through that small regional success, Atlantic Records reached out to me through some mutual friends, and they actually offered me a deal. And so I tried to work my way out of my contract.
And Irv was like, nah.
I thought I was out. Due to a small technicality, he was able to actually keep me on board.
Wow.
But I was pretty much out of there. And Atlantic had actually drew up a contract for me as an artist and for me as a producer to be able to develop my own acts. And it was like the coolest thing. I was only 20 years old at the time. I would have been an executive producer on my own projects, and that was really unheard of. I mean, there was no other young act like that had that kind of influence over their own music. And that's really what my goal was. And I remember the first meeting I had with Atlantic, I told them that I wanted the song to be popular in Europe. I wanted it to be the first time I ever released music in Europe. And they was like all on board. And then I had to go back to the ink. And the first thing I did was I bought a plane ticket to London. And I went out there and I started promoting the song out there. And it became my most successful song at the time.
Amazing. How's Irv Gotti? Your relationship with him okay? Or what is it like? Is it still a little on ice?
Well, a wise man told me that all things happen in time. And I have nothing but time and love for everyone and respect. So it'll come around.
Okay.